Introducing gamers to housing. What could go wrong? Oh. So after the smashing success of WoWkia Episode 1, I now have access to audience metrics. YouTube has told me that you are all millennials. So let me guess. Unable to afford real houses and living out the dream of home ownership through World of Warcraft. And hey, there's no shame in that because I am too. I can also see that my audience is mostly men. And I get it. I know why you're here. See, I've seen the r/male living space subreddit. I know how you decorate in the real world. I know what you put in your houses. The good, the bad, and this. Now, I know that you guys would be happy with nothing but a TV and a camping chair in your apartment. And honestly, good for you. Rent is high enough as it is right now without spending money on frivolities like wall decor or desks. We should just focus on affording the essentials like food and gas and our WoW subscriptions. But I don't want to just dunk on dudes who live with a mattress on the floor and their laptop on an ironing board because a lot of them are just going through stuff, and that seems a little unfair. Believe me, there's plenty to say about the dudes who have the budget to decorate, and they choose to do this with it. But I hear you ask, will decorating a WoW house be as challenging as decorating in real life? With all of these building tools and cool items at their disposal, surely the men can make something good? And I'm sure many can. However, using the competitors of the Gamescom Creator Clash as test subjects, which is a very small sample size, I admit, I am designating some of these homes as OrcLivingSpaces, simply because Human Male Paladin Spaces is too long of a name. These are very valiant efforts, and I know it's totally unfair to judge the competitors when they were just picking up the system for the first time, live on stream, but I think they represent a cross-section of the player base. I mean, one of the competitors' first instincts was to make a streaming setup and place his bed right next to it in a dark and empty room. We can improve on this. We can see by the competition results that Blizz have finally done it. They have finally created an esport that the gays and girlies can have a natural stat boost at. Now, I'm not saying that straight guys won't have some excellent fun and absolute peak houses. Some of them can, in fact, decorate. I'm just saying that some other ones might need a little bit of help. Luckily, while you were off raiding, I was studying the blade. And by blade, I mean I was forged in the fires of a Tom Nook bank loan. Hell, just a few months ago, in fact, I rebuilt half of Stormwind City, actually more than half of Stormwind City in Planet Coaster, just to train my muscles up for when WoW housing arrived. I've spent plenty of time in games where you build and decorate and create. You'll be in good hands with me. So, my guys, my fellas, come here. I know what some of you said when Blizzard announced housing. I know you said it wasn't real content. Probably because you didn't know how to win, to conquer, to fight with decor. When you log into your guild neighborhood, are you going to let someone else have the best house on the island? Are you going to just let that happen? Then again, if you just want to make jumping puzzles, which clearly a lot of you do, that's fine. That's totally fine. I hope you have so much fun. And if you don't care about decorating your house at all, that's fine too. But this video is about transforming your orc living space from common quality to legendary. I've arranged these tips into an internet-friendly numbered list. And hey, all of these apply in the real world too, more or less, so you can say that you've learned something. First, we'll start with room size. So on day one of housing, I already know what a lot of you are going to do. You're going to see the vast array of rooms before you, and you're going to pick the largest one because we're operating on childhood bedroom logic, right? Big room equals most space for toys, right? Wrong. These huge rooms are a trap. Think of them like key levels. Are you going to jump into a plus 20 key at the start of the season? If you're not confident in your skills, probably not. Same goes for decorating these huge spaces. To fill them up properly, you're going to need all your decor budget, especially to start. The biggest rooms seem to be designed for either subdivision or set pieces, so unless you're actually building something huge and not actually housey, like a PvP arena or a supermarket or a Forsaken Hot Topic, you're going to want to subdivide them into smaller rooms. There's a reason why the sample house that Blizz used in all the previews is sectioned off so much. It's because this is what normal house plans look like. They have to account for things like plumbing and lights and fire escapes. Have you ever been in a house that's just a giant square or rectangle? Feels really industrial, and it's hard to fill up with furniture in a way that feels natural. So how do we get to natural? This is easy. Make your job simple. Pick a smaller room. Your most important next step is lighting. Rooms and hallways in WoW are unlit by default. If you arrive on day 1 of WoW housing and you think to yourself, damn, it's kind of dark in here, that's because it is. Put a lamp in. In fact, place several. Then place windows, braziers, candles, and fireplaces. Seriously, it takes a lot of light sources to get these houses looking bright and cozy. You can scale the lighting objects to make the light reach farther. But at a certain point, the scale might get a little silly, but do it anyway, because the larger the room you pick, the more light it's going to take to bring you out of the dark. Right now, we don't have a ton of options where it comes to windows. I'm hoping that this will change because lighting is just so important to WoW housing. And there's also a lot of different window styles that fit across, WoW races and cultures. With the windows, there's white light and then there's warm light. Whichever you pick, I'd suggest using these intentionally. There's a big difference between the cool, daylight, more sterile vibes of the blue light window and the warm, again, cozy gold light window. And then think about density. Look around the room you're sitting in right now. Can you count the number of objects sitting around you with just a glance? Unless you're somewhere weird like a bus or a submarine or Ouroboros, probably not. Humans live with clutter around them, and clutter is what makes a house feel cozy and lived in, and most importantly, decorated. This doesn't mean to make like a giant mess. Don't pull out every item in your house chest and just leave them on the floor. Rather, just decorate everything. This means the walls, the mantelpieces, the tables, the floors in some spots. Look at the sheer amount of items in the model home. Even if it really doesn't make sense to shrink down a barrel and put it on your mantelpiece, do it anyway. It'll make things feel cozier. Another way to make density happen is layering. Put objects in front and behind each other. This can mean a painting. This can mean a bookshelf. Hell, I'm doing layering right now in this room. We've got bookshelf, lamp, and then poster. Next, let's talk about asymmetry. Here, I will shamelessly cite the observations from your favorite WoW YouTuber's favorite WoW YouTuber, Dan Olson, and his deep dive into WoW and symmetry. For the full video, you can check out this episode from Taliesin and Evitel. The TLDR is that Dornegal feels a little weird sometimes because all of the grid patterns in the environment expose that nothing really aligns across the city. But actually, that's working as intended. WoW's visual style is not symmetrical. It's intentionally a little off-kilter. I mean, you can watch the Dan segment for the full details and, the historical basis for all of this throughout Warcraft's history. So what can we learn from this for housing? Well, you can know that you don't need to sweat a perfect grid. In fact, if everything is on a perfect grid, things might feel a little sterile. When you're nudging things into place, it's fine, better even, for things to be just a little bit off-kilter. You also don't need to organize your space to be perfectly divided between areas or worry about, decorating things for perfect balance. Putting up a bed against a wall on one side shouldn't mean needing to put a table across the room to match, for example. You can if you want to, but you should fill the room with plenty of other decor around it to make it, again, feel less sterile. But you should consider arranging your items anyway to be off the wall. What's wrong with this room? With all of the furniture slid to the walls, we have all this space in the middle that's underutilized. Bringing it together feels a little bit more intimate and can make the space more interesting. But Mego, I hear you say, wouldn't it be weird to have all these items just kind of hanging out in the middle of the room? And to that I say, rugs. Rugs not only give you a different look for your floors, but they also create a zone. All these pieces, together with a rug under them, is now the sitting zone. They feel grounded. They have a place to live. Note that you don't actually need to place the furniture entirely on the rug. Just having the front legs on it is enough to make it feel included in the space. The same goes for beds. So if you put a rug under the bed to make a sleeping zone and add a divider, like near it, your orc will be ready to snooze here after a long day of poning noobs in Arathi Basin. This works especially well if your bed area is in an open concept space. Good God, listen to me. We are introducing open concept spaces to World of Warcraft, and next we're going to need the vinyl floor texture, and we're going to need the Landlord Gray dye. Anyway, men of the WoW community, I hope this helps. And even if you don't want to bother implementing any of these tips at all, you'll have the right language to dunk on your raid leader when you find out that actually he has an OrcLivingSpace house. So it's only a couple of days later, and I gotta say, I was expecting for my first couple of videos to be sitting at like 200 views for like a couple of weeks before YouTube gave me any traction, but no, this hit the algorithm running. People want to know about WoW housing, and I am happy to provide. You guys are hungry for content. Excellent. Rather than a tutorial, this is more of like an advice style video. Some of you might already know these tips. You're like a step ahead. It can't hurt to have them front of mind when you start decorating. I should also give a basement update. When I posted my first WoWkia video to Blue Sky, not even 5 hours later, we had Jesse Casey Curlincheek, aka the principal dev for housing, dropping in to give us an official cryptic look over the top of his glasses about the future of WoW housing. What does that mean? I think, either this means, they're going to add basements, or they're going to let us move the entryway up and down floors, or maybe they're even just adding an elevator platform like I had mentioned. Who knows? We will find out in time, I'm sure. Who knows if this is even going to be for live or not? Probably not, I would guess at this stage. They probably just want to get the system up and then add stuff like this, but we'll see. Does this make my first video obsolete? If it comes with basements, sure, fine. What other thing can I mention that I can summon into the housing system? Can I mention the candle racks from the shadow area of the priest order hall? Please give these to me, please. Whatever it is, I am just very excited to have housing devs engage with our baby little community already. It's crazy. Someone last video asked if I'm gonna be making a Discord group for WoWkia, and yeah, why not? I'll put a link down in the video description to that if you're interested in joining. This is where I would put updates for when new videos are coming, what new topics might be, maybe take suggestions for topics, and this is where I would also take user-submitted houses. When you guys start building, I want to see what you've built, and maybe we can use them as features for future videos. That would be awesome. So I'm already getting the full WoW YouTuber experience with breaking news that I didn't get in the initial recording. 2 days ago, they announced that there will be player housing testing on the PTR on Monday. That's this Monday. That's 2 days from now. It's going to be running through Thursday. Of course, because it's a PTR event, always subject to change if they encounter issues or need to take it down early or delay the start of it. But I wanted to put that on everyone's radar that everyone will be able to test player housing on the PTR on Monday. So because this is going up in a way that everyone can play it, I would love if everyone submitted their houses to the new WoWkia Discord so that we can review what you've created together. I want to see what you guys build. I want to see what new ideas you come up with. No idea at what level the system will be, available at, if this is just going to be interiors, if this is interiors and exteriors, if they're putting this whole build up on the PTR, as is. We'll find out. According to the blue post, you don't need midnight for this, so everyone can go test it. I imagine this is probably some sort of server load experiment. We'll see if things crash, if everyone logs in and tries to make a house at the same time. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to what you guys make, and I can't wait to see it. There will be more videos like this coming. If you want them, like and subscribe to WoWkia to get the updates. I'm working quick, but I can only work so fast because unfortunately I am an adult with a job. I think that's everything. Thank you and bye.